Hello everyone, I'm Tofu, we're on Gaol-Town today, and we're going to be taking on the mammoth task of redesigning every villager home so it fits my Crimecore aesthetic. So, I'm going to run over to Nook, have a little chat, and we'll start off with the mob boss himself, Marlowe's home. See you in a second. So naturally I'm doing this as a speed build because I didn't want this video to be 2.5 hours plus. I was actually working from reference photos, so I had made these in the Sketchroom app on your Nook phone, and then I was just following the photo basically. But even following the reference photo, it still took ages to do each home. It took a lot longer than I expected. So yeah, that's why we're going with a speed build. But I want to start with Marlowe as he is the mob boss. He's obviously the one that runs this island. And to be honest, I actually kind of like his just original home design. I thought it's very fitting considering, you know, he's based on The Godfather. It's got that kind of feeling. But I wanted to just kind of knock it up a notch and really kind of emphasise that. So I just wanted him to feel a lot like an intimidating mob boss. So the room is kind of based around that. So naturally he's got his desk, there will be a chair on the other side, so that's the kind of chair that you go and sit down when you ask a favour or he calls you into his quote-unquote office. But yeah, very dark, lots of dark wood tones, very cosy at the same time. It has a very home office feel in my opinion. But I do love using the fireplace and the bookshelves and things like that. Obviously, if I have the excuse to use any plants, I will. And yeah, I just wanted it to make it feel very classy. Even though I did mention that I was working with reference photos, it does take me a while to find certain items, and it's kind of irritating just because in my mind, because you're working off of a photo, it'll take like 5 minutes max. Some houses took 10 to 15 minutes. I actually had to cut out a bit with Bella's home later on in the video just because it took so long and I couldn't find the item I actually wanted, and I had to just eventually substitute it with a different thing. But anyway, back onto Marlowe's home. Obviously with him being the mob boss, he's the one with all the connections, he's the one with the power, he's the one with the riches, the money. So he's got an aluminium briefcase, or aluminum briefcase if you're from across the pond, and that's filled with money. He's got his gold bullion, he's got a little treasure map on his fireplace. And then I wanted a little area just where he's got all his priorities. So he's got Brewster, that I'm just headcanon is his good friend. He's got Spike's photo next to it, who's his bodyguard, and Monique is his love interest. And I thought this photo or art really worked just nicely in this office space. Gives a little bit of class. Obviously you've got to have the big poster of the Don behind him. So then we moved on to Monique's house, and as she is the love interest of Marlowe, I thought it made sense. And her canon is that she used to go out with Kyle, who was part of the island for a very brief time, and he wasn't going anywhere in his life because he wanted to start up a band and wanted to become famous for writing music and playing music, things like that. But Monique wanted the high life. She wanted to be treated like a queen, and so she left Kyle and ended up finding her way onto the island and has found Marlowe, and Marlowe treats her like she deserves to be treated, in her head anyway. So yeah, her home is going to reflect that, so it's going to be lots of elegant, classy kind of furniture, really fitting of someone that, yeah, just deserves the high life. So there will also be various bits of artwork, so I believe I put a beautiful statue and a couple of other things like that down as well. But yeah, there's a lot of lore when it comes to my villagers on this island, so I'll try and explain through it whilst also going through the home designs as well. But because obviously Kyle was on the island and then Monique turned up, I had Kyle leave because he didn't want to be reminded that not only his ex is on the island, but then she's with someone else. and that very much upset Bella, because Bella had a secret crush on Kyle, and so now I've got it in my headcanon that Bella wants to destroy Monique, wants to really kind of ruin her life. So Bella's part of this little petty girl gang and just do petty crimes, but yeah, she really wants to take it out on Monique for essentially pushing Kyle out. I really did like this room. I think it's quite different compared to the rest of the homes that I do on this island. It's got a very nice feeling. A lot of the other houses or homes have a bit of a kind of grotty, like run-down feeling. But yeah, this one's just really nice. And it's definitely a go-to if I want to portray that someone is full of class and elegant. Just the white and then a different colour. So white and green I think I've used before for Bree on Tanglewood. But yeah, white and yellow I think really suits Monique. It's kind of her colour scheme really. There was another moment of me failing to find the item that I wanted. Got there eventually. So even though I don't imagine her really playing a lot of video games, I thought the Animal Crossing Switch just works. One, because it's in the white dock, but I imagine she'd play Animal Crossing every now and again, just to chill out. Okay, moving on to Spike, the bodyguard. The reason he came onto the island, it's a bit of a long story, but initially Biff was the bodyguard of Marlo, and he was in a relationship with Renee. And then Bitty, who is Biff's mum, came onto the island. Biff and Bitty were talking smack about Renee. Renee had enough and left the island, told her big brother Spike, who had to come onto the island to defend Renee, and he essentially kicked Biff off the island. And just the way of the mob, if you get rid of the bodyguard, you become the bodyguard. So Spike is now the bodyguard of Marlo, and is Marlo's right-hand man, and because he's a big tough guy, naturally he's going to have a home that is mostly a gym. So when he's not bodyguarding, he's going to be working out and making sure that he's strong and ready. So again, lots of wood tones, but I use a lot of red and black in this build. I think it just suits. I did want to create just a small area where it's like a small relaxation area so he can sit down, watch TV, just do what he wants to do when he's not working out, because, you know, you can't work out all the time. That's just impractical. But even with the relaxation area, he's still going to have exercise items, so the dumbbell, or the kettlebell I should say, is there. Yeah, very basic kind of build. Again, like I said, very wood-tony, but yeah, I like it. And then naturally he's going to have his photo next to the Dom's photo, so just emphasising that there is a close relationship there, even if Marlo does decide to get rid of him in the future. But that'll be a tale for another time, I suppose, if it happens at all. So just a TV, obviously above the exercise equipment, so he can just view things and kind of go autopilot while he's on the treadmill or the exercise bike. I thought the sporting pendants work, as it is a kind of sporty room. And we're almost done. Okay, so moving on to Raddle, and he is our suspicious doctor type, and basically if you need something manufactured or just sourced, Raddle is the guy to go to. So you don't question his methods, you don't ask where it came from, all you know is that he gets it for you. No questions asked, providing that you pay, obviously. You can't do things for free unless, you know, you indebted to the mob for one reason or another. But yeah, we don't know his origin story as to why he got involved with Marlowe, but all we know is that he is involved with Marlowe, and so yeah, he does whatever Marlowe asks of him, basically. But yeah, he's not opposed to doing anything else if one of the girl gang or someone else on the island asks for a particular item or, you know, a favour. He'll sort you out, like I said, as long as you pay. And yeah, I just wanted this to feel very, I guess, tech-inspired, very manufacturing, like a little bit factory-esque, I guess. So he's got obviously his workbench, his tool shelf, the amazing machine and robot arm, and then whatever that weird giant test tube-like thing is. And naturally, if he's building things, he's going to have things like the electronics kit just dotted around. I'm pretty sure I put the, there we go, the lab experiment. I forget what it's called, but yeah, you can see it on the table clearly. And then just the lab chair, which I thought added a little element of mystery, because why would you need that? Just, you know, gives off a little bit of a menacing air, in my opinion. Annoyingly, just looking through this footage, I've just seen one of the items that I was looking for Bella, and that's going to annoy me so much. Oh well. That's just how these things go sometimes. I'm clearly struggling to find the item I want here as well, which again is very annoying. But I find it eventually. It was the black microscope. Now I'm just planting things on the wall. I wanted this kind of moving electronic sign just with the crosses and the surveillance camera, just to, you know, stop any intruders from coming in. And obviously Radl is a certified doctor, so he needs all his certificates and things, all his diplomas up on the wall, just to prove that, just in case, you know, you accuse him of being a mad doctor or something like that. And then the sinking woman photo or artwork, I thought just worked really nicely. Gives that, again, another air of mystery. And then we darken the lights a little bit, again, just for that mysterious tone. So we move on to Beardo, and he is the quote-unquote mayor of the island. He thinks he's the mayor at least, but obviously Marlowe's the one that's running the show. But I wanted to give him just an office space, so it feels a lot kind of mayoral for him. Like, he will obviously bring people into his office if they need to chat and things like that. Everyone knows that he can't do anything. It's obviously, like I said, Marlowe's the one that's running the show. But he wanted a space that makes him feel important, so that's what I was kind of going for. I do love the library wallpaper. It just is such a nice wallpaper design, and I tend to use it for accent walls, honestly, and then just block it off, making it look like there's a bookcase just behind, in this case, the tall counters and the pillars. But yeah, it's such a good wallpaper design. So again, very dark wood tones. I love the bookcase, and that's one of my favourite items. Like I did with Marlowe's place, I put a few plants as well. It gives a little bit more of a friendly air to the office spaces. But again, I can imagine this being like a home office somewhere. I also get the impression that Beardo is quite old-fashioned, so hence the rotary phone and the typewriter. And I put a cello down that he wants to impress people, making it seem like he's this really fancy kind of guy, but he's got it just for show. He doesn't actually know how to play it. If you tried to ask him to play, he would give up like all sorts of excuses as to why he can't do it right there and then. He's too busy, you know, with mayor things to do, so yeah. He's got autographs on the wall, so he's trying to make it seem like he's more important than he actually is. Again, I really like this room. To be honest, I like all the houses I've done. Hopefully you guys do as well. He's got one certificate, just again, that's meant to be proving that he is like the mayoral type. Just finishing touch of the light, and we're good. Okay, next is Sprocket. This one I wasn't sure about. I actually made 2 rooms, and I wasn't happy with the very first one I did. Because he's the owner of the scrapyard, and so he's got lots of junk and just various bits of trash outside his home. And so, initially I had this build where he was going to have like loads of trash and things in his room. And almost as if he was trying to like reclaim various bits of I guess materials and furniture and rebuild them, repurpose them, I guess would be a better way of saying it. But then I decided that I wanted to do this, and this is very different, but I like to imagine that Sprocket was created by Raddle, because he is the quote unquote mad doctor. But yeah, he's been made by Raddle and then he's gone off to do his own thing, and nobody would ever come into the junkyard to bother Sprocket, so Sprocket has got a little manufacturing plant, shall we say, for various things. So yeah, you'll obviously see what I mean, but that's the reason I went with the greenhouse wallpaper, and I just thought the camo flooring went really nicely with that particular like wallpaper, honestly. It took me a while to move this table into where I wanted it to be. Eventually I'll put the merch onto the table, and you'll kind of see what I mean as far as the manufacturing goes. But I love using the decorative bottles. It just gives the impression that people are drinking various types of booze and things like that, and then just discarding the bottles around. It's an amazing trash item. So there we've got the lab experiment kit as well, and here we are putting the merch. So obviously big bag of money, and a little weed, and some shrooms. So yeah, you can work out where I'm going with this. Naturally, a place like this needs good ventilation, it needs good lighting, so I ended up putting a lot of fluorescent lights, which I don't tend to put in builds, and just near that plant partition, which I'm imagining is his, I'll say irrigation system, for want of a better term. I can't think of the actual terminology I want, but yeah, his indoor growing station, shall we say. And I wanted the feeling that this place is very much overgrown as well, so I put the vines, and then it took me the longest time to rearrange all the lighting so that I could fit in the vines and things that I wanted. But this is very much different compared to the rest of the builds, so yeah, it's interesting in my opinion anyway. Hopefully you guys agree. And this was Harry's home, and it was not what I expected at all when I went into the home design. Harry just looks like he doesn't wash at all, and so the fact that the majority of his home is a giant bathroom with like a giant bubble spa and then shower on the wall, that just doesn't suit in my opinion. However, this does, and so we're going for the ramshackle kind of unemployed bum look. So obviously we've got dirt flooring, which I've covered with a horrible brown shaggy rug. You've got one wall which looks like it's just falling apart, and the rest is this kind of straw like wallpaper. Naturally, a lot of the furniture I've chosen for him is cardboard, so you've got the cardboard table, the cardboard bed. I choose a few bits of sloppy furniture, so the sloppy sofa obviously, and then there'll just be things dotted around like various bits of cardboard boxes. The bottle crate I use as just a sideboard, I guess. He's got a retro TV with the tangled wires on top. Again, just giving that really kind of messy, unruly kind of feeling. Naturally, he's going to have trash as well, so there's a few discarded bottles, there's actual trash bags in his home. None of the furniture matches, so that's why I've chosen a lantern. And then the various few bits of accessories, so just tins or cans of food. He's got an electronics kit and a broken part as well. I end up throwing a sloppy sink, and I really do like that item. Like, just the fact that it's not clean, the fact it's got a few like just plates and cups and things in the sink, I think that is so realistic as opposed to all the others, because obviously every other kitchen unit in the game is squeaky clean unless you go for the damaged variants of a few. But yeah, just the idea that obviously he's not going to clean up after himself, so naturally he's going to have all the bowls and things just in the sink, dirty and kind of filthy. We've got a few items dotted around, just like various office supplies, old newspaper. I put down a mushroom as if the mushroom is growing through the floor, and then we move on to the wall-based items as well. And I just wanted this like idea that he had like sticky handprints just behind that little part of the wall. Damaged skateboard rack as well, so that was something he's going to restore, but he never does, so it's just damaged and horrible looking skateboards on the wall. And naturally, for the lighting, I thought just a dangling light bulb. Okay, so we move on to Bella's home, and she is part of the girl gang. As I've already mentioned, she has beef with Monique, because Monique ended up kicking Kyle out of the island, essentially. Obviously, Kyle didn't want to deal with the fact that his ex is there, and Bella took massive offence because she had a crush on Kyle, and kind of wants to be in a band because of that, because that's what Kyle wanted. And her and Matilda would make fun of Kyle and like say things like, oh, his band's not going anywhere. But yeah, secretly Bella wanted Kyle to succeed, and so she can then claim that, oh, I always believed that you would make it, and maybe they'll get together, who knows. But that obviously can't happen now because she doesn't know where he's gone. But anyway, the home I wanted to be very, very dark, and I wanted it just to feel, I don't know, a little bit run down, but not too much. Obviously, when you compare it to Harry's home, Harry's is really ramshackle. Yeah, I wanted this to still have some half-decent furniture, so the sofa's fine. I think it's just a simple sofa. She's got a cool bed, and then just one of those, I don't know, canvas like wardrobes, and none of the furniture really matches, so I've gone with a bottle crate. There's a TV tray and then a cool table which I put various things on. I really wanted the wood burning stove as well, which is why I put that small wood patch just in the corner. I thought it really went nicely. And here is the moment that I end up just giving up on the item that I was looking for. I actually wanted the chocolates from the Happy Home Paradise DLC, and like I said, I just couldn't find it, and so I ended up just putting on the on-air sign. Again, I thought that was very fitting, as she has the electric bass. And then I've put her favourite music selections up on the wall, and then Kyle's photo with a little heart stickers just nearby. Really kind of trying to sell that idea that she had a crush on him. Again, much like Beardo, she also has autographs, but she's got kind of musician autographs, as opposed to Beardo that tries to look official. I went with the various stage lighting because I thought that just fits. And again, we're almost done. I'm looking for a magazine or a book, something like that, just to throw on the floor because, you know, she's messy. But because she does petty crime, she has got a few bits of cash lying around that she's managed to steal from various people. and this is one of the few homes that I actually put music on, and I went with KK Rock. Right, going to the second half of the girl gang, and we have Matilda. And whilst I wanted the same kind of feel, obviously because they both do petty crimes and things like that, I wanted her to have the same feeling as Bella, but obviously she's got her Joey, so there's going to be quite a kid focus, because she wants to bring up the child in a nice environment. Obviously wants to raise them up as best as she can, even if she does have to do just these petty crimes, I guess, in order to make sure that that happens. So I went with the bunk bed, and various toys will be in that far left corner, trying to make it seem like it's a nice place for the child to be raised, even if Matilda herself has to give up various luxuries. This is probably one of the nicer homes on the island, even if like I've said, I do try and make it seem like there are things that they're missing out on, but Matilda's obviously, like I said, sacrificing various pleasures of her own to make sure that the Joey and the child actually is raised properly. But again, just that mismatched furniture set. Every now and again there's a cardboard box which is used as a storage area, or like a side table, things like that. I thought the open bag of snacks just works, just because, you know, children like snacks, and again it gives that bit of a messy feeling. And then we go with the top hat or magician set, whatever, I think it's called the magic set actually. But I like the idea that that's how Matilda makes her money. She goes around scamming people on the island with these various magic acts and card tricks and card games and things like that, that she's always rigged so that she basically takes your money. I get the idea that Bella just kind of pickpockets, whereas Matilda's more of a scam artist. I just threw down the scattered papers and then used the sloppy table, again just kind of creating that bit of a mess area. She's only got a small TV because that's all she could buy or, you know, acquire one way or another. And then she's got a single weed on the table, so make of that what you will. But we've got the various children's posters just in the children's corner as well, really trying to drive home that that area is for the Joey, and the rest of the home is for Matilda, or the both of them. And just finishing up with the lighting now, again something very simple. I love that hanging shelf item, it's one of my favourite items in the game. Here I'm looking for just a waste bin to throw into that little corner, and yeah, job's a good one. Right, last of all is Eric, and obviously I've just acquired him recently. I wasn't sure what role I was going to give him on the island, because he just, in my opinion, just gives off the air of innocence, so I can't imagine him doing much. But I think collectively, through a couple of comments that were left on my channel, and just through my own imagination, I guess, we're going to have it so he's the nephew of Beardo. So everyone expects him to be really squeaky clean. The girl gang go around bully him a bit, and he kind of takes it, you know, he jokes along with it, thinks that it's kind of harmless. When in actuality, he is a smuggler. So he goes to various islands, he brings back just whatever you need. Again, I've gone with the bag of weed and the shrooms. He's got various boxes filled with who knows what, but You know, he supplies the island with what they need, especially if Raddle needs a certain item in order to, you know, complete a order. And then naturally he's just got a big pile of cash. So his workshop is completely hidden by the partition walls and then the curtain. And I wanted it just to feel like it was a completely different area entirely, which is why I put the stone appearance rugs down. So that's the workshop mostly done, and we're just going to flesh out the front bit. So it's just going to look like a really nice home, honestly. So I've got a sofa. I'm pretty sure I choose the Moroccan sofa. I do. It's, again, one of my favourite furniture items in the game. So there's just a nice rest area over in the right hand side with a nice TV. There'll be a plant eventually. There we go. And then on the left hand side I make just a kitchen area, which, to be honest, I've kind of left out of the majority of the builds on this island. So I would say this is probably the most complete home, just because it actually has a kitchen, it has a space to relax. It doesn't have a bed, however, so I guess Eric either sleeps away on his various missions, if you'll say that, or he just sleeps on the sofa. But I really do like the combination of this wallpaper along with the brick accent wall. Again, I've used it quite a few times and is one of my favourites. So there we have it, guys. That's every villager home remodelled on Gaol-Town to fit the Crimecore aesthetic. Hopefully you enjoyed what I did, and if you have a particular favourite, let me know what it is down in the comments below. But I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that made it this far into the video. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. Hopefully you'll join me in the next video where we'll be doing another build on this island and just trying to edge a little bit closer to finishing the entirety of the island. But until next time, I want to say thank you very much. Hope to see you in the next video, and until next time, have a good one. Cheers, guys.